Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today I've borrowed this 2022 Honda Odyssey Elite from my friends at Holmes Honda here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And before anybody goes down into the comments and says that's a 2021, because I know how some of the YouTube correction Nazis are, let me show you it is actually a 22. Not only from the screenshot of the dealership's website, and if you look at that carefully you can see the price, but also the fact that on the Monroney label, or what is commonly known as the window sticker, you can see that it also says 2022. And there are two changes for the 2022 model year that I'm going to tell you about, one right now and one shortly when we get to the area that change has to do with in just a few minutes. The one change that has happened that I can't show you today, at least on this particular model, has to do with a new available exterior color. It's called Radiant Red. And being that this is the only 22 Odyssey that Holmes Honda had in inventory today, well, that's pretty much all I had to choose from. And I know a lot of you have asked me to do some lower trim levels here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel as far as my reviews go. And as those become available with the 2022 or even the 21s, we'll definitely take a look at those. So based on the fact that the 2021 model that we took a look at late last year in 2020 basically had some mild exterior refreshes with the front end, some more sporty looking rims, basically to give the Odyssey, well, believe it or not, a more sporty look. That's why we're not seeing a lot of major changes for 2022. But be sure to tell us down in the comments, because you never know who's reading these. If somebody from Honda, the right person, sees your comments as to what you would like to see change in coming years when there's a full redesign of the Odyssey. Well, your input could have a lot to do with what does or doesn't happen in that area, so don't be afraid to leave your comments. As far as the 22 model goes, it's still going to have those LED headlights, the LED fog lights, a host of standard safety features that are so easy to use. You can of course turn those on and off. I'm listing those on the screen right now. And based on what a lot of you said in a video I did with the 2021 Toyota Sienna that was fully redesigned for the 2021 model year, a lot of you said my only disappointment is the fact that it doesn't have enough horsepower. That's something that's not lacking here in the Odyssey. Now let's just say that you're an ultra competitive soccer mom and you're wanting to beat all of the other soccer moms to the games or to soccer practice. Well, this might be a good option for you. It has the standard 3.5 liter V6, 280 horsepower. It's front wheel drive, and the power is put to the ground through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Gas mileage comes in at an estimated 19 miles per gallon city, 28 out on the highway, a combined total of 22 miles per gallon. Tell me down in the comments what you're getting with your Honda Odyssey as far as your mileage goes. Of course, you're still going to have the dual sliding side doors, driver and passenger side, fully automated, very easy to use. And you do have, like I said, a lot of configuration options here. Of course, it's very easy via this rear latch to move the seat forward. I did that with one hand. Very easy to use. Anybody can do that. It makes getting in and out very simple for the rear seat passengers. And these seats do recline back, by the way, as you can see right there. But there are some other adjustments here. You can move these seats forward and tilt the whole thing forward via this front latch to help maximize your cargo space. And you also have this little latch right here on the side. When you remove that middle seat right there, which is removable, then these slide back and forth for a couple of different options as far as what you can do for cargo space and whatever your needs may be. Now that middle seat is a little bit on the heavy side, not terribly for myself, but I can't speak for everybody. So if you maybe don't go to the gym as often as I do and lift a lot of weight, and you think, well, I don't know if I can get that seat out by myself, here's my recommendation on that. You can actually open the power rear door and release that middle seat, and you can kind of just pull it out. Just be kind of careful you don't damage the carpet, but that is an option. And of course, you've got the shades on these rear windows, not only here in the center row, but the rear row as well. Everybody basically has their own air conditioning vents, and the controls for those for the middle and rear seat passengers is located on the passenger side, as you can see on the screen right now. So a lot of good airflow right there, whether it's heat or cool. And kind of amazing that a week ago I was driving around in the snow. Today I'm wearing short sleeves. But a lot of great options here, not only with the configuration of the middle row seats, but the rear as well. Of course, before we move on, you do have that entertainment system where you can play DVDs, Blu-ray. Everybody can watch movies in the rear when you're out on a road trip with your Odyssey Elite. When you walk up to the rear liftgate of the 2022 Odyssey Elite, you're going to notice some instructions on a sticker. It's going to tell you how to use this power rear liftgate as far as the motion sensor under the bumper goes. And a little tip on that, and while there are multiple ways, buttons and different ways you can open this liftgate, if you have a handful of groceries or whatever and you need to use that motion sensor down there, when you kick your foot underneath the bumper, if it doesn't happen just like that, don't do it again, because what's going to happen is you'll reverse the process and the rear liftgate will basically stay shut. So just kick your foot underneath there, give it a couple of seconds. It's going to start to open pretty quick, but that's just an issue that I know I've run into in the past, so I'm trying to keep you from running into that. Now, what is the other major change for 2022? It's located right here in the rear. Tell me down in the comments what you think about this. Are you disappointed? Does it not matter? Or would you rather have it be as it is now that the onboard vacuum cleaner that used to be located right here is no longer available for 2022. So there are your two major changes as far as 2022 goes, that additional radiant red color and the onboard vacuum cleaner no longer available. But you do still have these stowing magic rear seats, one of my favorite features here, very easy to use. Again, you have easy to follow instructions right here on the back seats. You can stow those away down here, and the area where they stow, I like to call that a multitasker, because if you're not stowing the rear seats down there, you can stow groceries or whatever you can get to fit. A nice multitasker, in my personal opinion. So to give you a view of what it looks like with the power sliding side door window down, well, you can see how easily you can see into the interior. Get a lot of wind back here, air flow, if that's what your rear seat passengers want. And like I said, you've got these shades on here. Let me put one up real quick just so you can see how easy that is to do. There you go, got that up. And like I said, you've got the entertainment system right here. That comes with a remote and a couple of sets of earphones. Seats are very comfortable. A lot of cup holders throughout for the middle row seat passengers. You got a couple more here. And there's some connectivity and other options here. And the rear that I'll show you back there. Very easy to get in and out. Now, one thing a lot of people have said is they'd like to see these middle row seats be removable, just like this middle seat is in the middle row. Maybe all three could be that way. Like I said, mention what you'd like to see change in the future down in the comments. But there is a lot of space here. The seats recline a little bit. I can lay down here and take a nice little nap if I wanted to. That would be nice. And of course, you've got plenty of connectivity throughout, not only here for the middle row seat passengers, for the front seat and the rear as well. And while there are no significant changes in that area, there's still a lot of great features and functionality here. I'm very interested to see what comes with the next generation of the Odyssey. Let's hop into the front seat and see what you're going to find there. Okay guys, we're here in the front seat. One thing I want to make sure I don't forget to mention, you do have the sunroof right here, that power sliding sunroof that is not panoramic, but again, be interesting to see what we see in the future, because I know a lot of you have said that's something you'd like to see with the Odyssey, but for now the standard size is still there. And one thing that's nice here, all of the windows are one touch, just like you can see here on the driver's door. All 4 windows that are power windows throughout the Odyssey are all one touch, whether here in the front or the doors on the side of the van as well. And you'll find the typical features and functionality here: steering wheel mounted controls, you got your cruise control, got paddle shifters. Like I said, Honda wanted to make the Odyssey a little more sporty in 2021, so that carries over for the 2022 model year. So you got those paddle shifters there if you want to drive in sport mode. And Honda's very simple to use infotainment system. I'm interested to see what they do with that in the future, but honestly, that is one of the easiest to use. It's responsive and has a lot of customization and features. You can go into settings and change quite a few things. And something that I found that a lot of people really like, you also have a knob here for the radio as far as turning that on and off or adjusting the volume. So what about driving the 2022 Odyssey? Well, it still has plenty of get up and go, and like I say, I am a little bit limited here as to what I could really tell you about how it's going to drive as far as having a full load of passengers or cargo or a combination of both. But when you drop the hammer, you can hear that V6 go to work, and it definitely goes to work. It gets you down the road, at least when you're one person, one occupant in the vehicle. It goes down the road nice and fast. And visibility is good. Of course, you're going to have the backup camera and all the sensors around the vehicle and everything. All those driving aids that I showed you on the screen earlier, everything really easy to use and get to. I just like the layout here. Nothing new, like I said, but that's a good thing, because if Honda updates the Odyssey, there are a lot of things that I would like to see stay the same as far as the ease of getting to everything, all the switches and controls and everything. But I am curious to know, as far as, let's say, the shifter goes, tell me, is that something you want to see remain for future years, especially when there is a full redesign? Or would you like to see that change? I know I asked earlier, tell me down in the comments what you would like to see change in the future. I'm very interested to see what your thoughts are, as far as all of you who take the time to watch the video. And just cruising down the road, now I'm on a really smooth road, but that's one thing I have noticed, is that the Odyssey does seem to ride well. You're going to see a little bit of a change when you have the 19-inch wheels on the Odyssey as far as the stiffness of the ride goes, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a huge change. It does stiffen the ride up just a little bit, just so that you know, but it's still not bad. And of course, when I say that, it all depends on what you're used to driving. So another reviewer here on YouTube, somebody who does car reviews, might have something completely different to say, but that's my experience. But overall, it's a very easy vehicle to drive, and you may go from a smaller vehicle to something that's a minivan like this Odyssey and wonder, well, how hard is it to get used to? Well, with all the technology and the different features and functionality available to help you with parking sensors and different things like that, as far as what's around you, it's not hard to get used to, and just the overall feeling of driving this model is really not bad. I find myself adapting quickly, and I think others will too. So if this is something you're considering buying, it's not hard to get around, it's not difficult to park, and it's not really difficult to get used to, at least in my personal opinion. So ultimately, I think it's a good vehicle to step into if you're stepping out of, say, a smaller SUV or something like maybe an HRV or something like that. Maybe you started a family. And just everything overall, I must give high marks. So obviously, Honda has continued to do a great job with what they have put into the Odyssey for the 2022 model year. Thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for taking the time to watch and giving me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye-bye.